Okay. Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, May 25th, 2022 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. On Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Chapter 30A, Section 20. That order was effective immediately or until it is rescinded or the state of emergency is terminated. On February 12, 2022, by action of the legislature, that order was extended until July 15, 2021. This meeting is live and on Zoom.
July 15th, 2022.
I'm sorry, this is extended till July 15th of 2022. Please join me in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may impose, I would have brought this to your attention earlier. I wish we could observe a moment of silence on the passing of former Selectman Joseph D. Felice of Canton, whose funeral mass was celebrated today.
Okay. I'll ask everyone to join us for a minute in observing a moment of silence in honor of Joseph D. Felice, Canton Selectman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With us today is Assistant County Director Bill Buckley, sitting in for Director Cronin. And we have a full agenda. I call the meeting to order. I'm going to call the roll. Commissioner Stady.
I am here, sir. Present.
Commissioner Collins.
Present.
Chairman Shea is here. We have a quorum. Item number 3 on the agenda is a public hearing regarding the 2023 capital finance budget. I'm now going to open up the public hearing about the proposed to be approved fiscal 23 Norfolk County capital plan. This is inclusive of all wish list, as I call it, all items that various department heads have sent and forwarded to the commissioner. Some have gone to the second stage, but it's necessary that before June 8th, we have a public hearing. So it's today. We can close this public hearing today if you want, or continue till next week if there's more discussion, because we need to be ready to go to the advisory board on June 8th. We have placed this document before everyone, and we intend to send it to the advisory board. This is a culmination of some recommendations, some changes brought forward in the Abraham's report. Not entirely, but we've had a capital plan before, but this brings it into, I'd like to say, the 20th century. And this is the format that we're going to go forward with from now on, hopefully. However, this public hearing has been around since the beginning of time, and we're required to have it. So I'm going to open it up to anyone at all who wants to speak. I've included in everyone's packet. This is on our website. If necessary, I'm going to ask Director Buckley, can you bring it up? Or
Maybe take a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, I'm going to need a motion to open this public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is open on the 2023 capital budget.
Excellent.
Now, again, if you look, there's 126 items on here. It runs the whole gamut of every one of our departments, including the agricultural high school. This is some old chestnuts and some new ones. This is issues brought forward from the past. These are things that we think are doable. And the wish list is around $1 million.
That's right. If I may,
So I'm gonna ask the director to.
Excellent. Through Mr. Chair, this document is, as you say, we are regularizing and normalizing our capital process in line with what most of our constituent communities do. It's a 5-year capital plan. So what you see before you is the proposed first year of that FY23 capital plan. You'll notice on the far left column is the location or department. The middle column is the project or purchase. The highlighted in tan column is the capital plan itself. And the pullout on the far right with a blue top is items which we think may be eligible for the county's share of ARPA. You will notice that the number of, I will go through them, but the number of projects that have funds attached in the tan adds up to about $1 million, which is what we projected to utilize for the capital plan. But it is not all of the projects within this document. Through the really diligent work led by Nancy Rockwell, our purchasing agent, who really has a great handle on our facilities, needs, contracts, the useful life of things, working closely with John McGowan, Sheila Carroll, and his staff. We've developed this to sort of not just address capital needs as they emerge as an emergency, but plan in a very deliberative fashion. Obviously, and so I'll go through this here. I know there are some good department heads. I see Pat Higgins on the call as well. But as we go from the top, I'll pull out the renovated ladies' room. That was in the FY22 third supplemental, funded that for $60,000 for 3 bathroom renovations. But that is something that we may be able to offset a portion of it with ARPA, because if you do touchless sinks, that falls into the broader category of responding to the pandemic. There's the first floor exit door upgrades at the administration building, putting a camera there, putting a buzzer in that to increase the safety of this facility is on there. For the engineering department, there are 3 things: a GPS dual receiver, robotic station for $32,000 and $36,000 respectively, and computer workstations for $20,000. Obviously, our engineering department is a technology-heavy department. They're not out there with simple string anymore. It's all computerized, and these, if I recall our conversation with Patrick, the types of equipment we have now is really beginning to reach the number 1 end of its useful life, but also number 2, updates are such that our systems are having difficulty, or in the future may have difficulty integrating with new plotting systems and planning systems. So that's the rationale there. We're doing $2,000 for a water heater in the administration building. We'll call out gas boiler at the Rentham District Court of $200,000. We will again attempt to utilize a portion of the revenue replacement resources to fund this project. No problem. You may recall over the past few years, we've had a series of issues relative to power in this building, in the square in general, and obviously we have 2 court buildings and a registry building within sort of Dedham Square, and there are sort of 3 grids for the power system. And we've had starting with Mike Mullen in my tenure, we've had a number of conversations with the power company, and it continues to be, unfortunately, not as reliable as we would like it. There's an important, our core mission with our courthouses is an access to justice, and you can't access justice if it is dark in a courtroom. So we're looking at $99,000 to put a generator at Dedham District, which out of all the buildings here in the square has had the most instances of losing power, often in the middle of the day, often a few times causing court to have to be postponed. So that allocation is for that purpose. I just want to there's a call out here for the irrigation system moving down to number 37, Alliston. That project is not on the capital plan at present. It's estimated to be $1.593 million to address the full irrigation system, and it's something we can't bite off in a single capital plan. But as we continue to move down the path of addressing the Quincy District Court disposition, that may free up funds we're projecting to address that, and that will be something that will come before you at a future meeting. But we just want to call out the fact that we know that that system is nearing the end of its useful life. We're also cognizant of just how expensive that is. Right above that, for Norfolk Superior Court, there's a $200,000 air exchange. We believe we will attempt to use this project in particular. It's eligible under the final rule to improve air quality and flow at the district court. So hopefully that will not come out of our funds. Moving down, let's at Wollaston, we have a maintenance facility roof. There's a hole in it. Director Cronin and I inspected it earlier in the year. That is something that is of need. New restroom on the golf course is something that our users have brought up. I am a horrible golfer and don't know the course that well, but it's about halfway out, and I think
It's in Milton.
it's in Milton somewhere. The liquor license is in Quincy. The bathroom will be in Milton. But that we're projecting 75,000, and we're working close with Carl and Dana. There are a number of options, some sort of prefab structures that kind of look like something you'd see maybe at a national park or at a recreation area or a wilderness area that we obviously have to look at what the well situation and the pumping situation for the facility, but we believe $75,000 will get us well on our way to addressing that request that we have received for many years from the membership. Building upon some of the allocations we've had for park benches, the new playground and the like, and continuing the work of Mayor Koch to fix the street going into the golf course, we'd like to allocate $200,000 for parking lot paving and lining. That's really as you come off, especially as you kind of come off and out of the roundabout there. It's like the Rocky Road to Dublin going down back to the street. There's a lot of potholes. There's a lot of, it's just at the point where it really needs to be completely done over. And the 80,000 is a recurring and regular ground improvements piece. We then, moving further down, the Aggie has asked for a utility pickup truck, skid steer with snow thrower attachment, a scissor lift, classroom technology 8-year replacement, expired Chrome book replacement, and main conference room audiovisual updates. We use the audiovisual in that main conference room for the advisory board last month. We'll use it again next month as well. I can say, being a school committee member, the Chromebook replacement is something that's probably going to be regularized. It's very crucial. These things, kids are knocking around in their book bags. You've got like 4 or 5 years tops before you have to continue to replace and repair them. Moving on, there is a request for $60,000 for HVAC controls. There's also second floor office and bathroom renovation for $60,000 at the Aggie, as well as a kitchen equipment update for $20,000. Moving down the list, we have yet to receive department requests from the Registry of Deeds, but I know Director Cronin was in contact with First Assistant Register Lee on that. So all told now, we have $1 million in our FY20 capital plan, and we project perhaps somewhere in the neighborhood of $420,000 we may be able to use ARPA for those in this FY23 capital year. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to entertain.
Okay,
questions.
thank you, Mr. Director. I'm going to open it up to anyone at all who's at our meeting or on this call that would like to comment again. This is a culmination of a few changes recommended by our outside consultant, the Abraham Group. We've always had a capital budget, but the manner in which we handled it was different from department to department, was certainly different from the school to here. And this is an effort to live within the rules and the law, of course. We're going to submit this to our advisory board, but we're also going to use this new format, hopefully from here on in. So it's for lack of a better term, it's a laundry list discussed well into the year with all of our boards and departments. And it's a working document, just like our budget, but
Very iterative.
it's safe to say that if an item makes the list, makes the cut, and doesn't get taken care of in 1 year, you we'd know where we stand on the future. It's a way of, it's the way of broadcasting our needs. It's a way of prioritizing, and we hopefully can stick to this format. So, again, any comments at all?
Right, Mr. Chairman?
Pretty well vetted. Yes, Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For you, of course, to Director Buckby, thank you for your presentation. That's, I like the way it's laid out. It's very easy to follow, and thank you for that. I have just maybe two categories, if I could, Mr. Chairman, a little bit. One is more of a statement of concern with the registry not having any capital items in there at this time. For you, of course, to Billy, what's the deadline when they have to get something to us to get to the advisory board? Are we going to the advisory board June 8th? So we need something by then?
We are going to the advisory board June 8th.
I would say it will be ideal to have it by next meeting.
Okay, all right. Or maybe a message, try to get something, sooner rather than later. The other, why the focus is on, and thank you for that. On the Aggie School, I noticed, we've noticed ourselves when we go there, difficulty in the area of broadband and the internet and Zoom meetings. I'm kind of just maybe surprised, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's nothing in there that addresses it, or does that technology address that? The idea of,
You mean the classroom technology replacement piece?
is that going to address our problem? We've had issues.
Let me ask John Wallace. As you know, the business manager is with us.
Okay, thank you. I didn't see
I don't
him.
know if he can answer that question, but do you
Yes, I
understand the question?
Yes, I do. I understand Commissioner Stady's question. The answer is no, that's not addressed. The classroom technology piece has to do with pieces of hardware that are in the classroom.
That's
We're
what I
making a transition that a lot of schools are making now away from projecting onto a whiteboard to a dynamic screen, not that different than what we're looking at right here. A little bit bigger maybe, but then you touch, you walk up, you use it like a whiteboard or the old blackboard. We don't have anything right now about improving the capability of the internet and the accessibility of the internet at the school. We haven't identified it from our own staff as an issue that's been prioritized by them that they were looking to, spend our money on or spend the county's money on.
Okay, thank you for your response, John. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying as a suggestion, perhaps even if we don't do it now, maybe put it on the radar, because as you know, sometimes we've had meetings there and sometimes the Zoom works, sometimes it doesn't. Bill will attest to that. So, just something I think we want to address, and maybe opera money for that. Who knows? That could be handled by that. The other thing is, I know I mentioned at the last meeting, the point was in front of I believe it's the McFarland building, that the concrete is pretty much broken up and it's in pretty rough shape. Is there any capital requests you would need to repair that, or can that be taken care of on regular maintenance? And again, I'm not trying to put you in a spot, but I did mention at the last meeting, that area, this sign there that says slippery, and it needs to be improved. Anything on there, on the radar there?
We took your comments to heart. We had John Martin and I had a conversation with Pete Murphy, our facilities manager, and he is looking into potential solutions.
Okay.
Commissioner, so we're not really at the point where we even have a dollar value that we could assign to that, but yes, we're looking into it. I think there's a chance, that we might be able to pay for that out of the normal maintenance of the school, because it's not clear to me whether it would be a coating or whether it would be they would be dealt with in some way that allows them to remain in place, whether there could be a covering that we would put down there that would be like an outdoor rug that we would put down there. So we're still too early yet to come up with a dollar value.
Okay, good. No, I appreciate it. That's all I had. I appreciate the follow-up, and as again, good job. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just for you, Mr. Chair, as a point of information, a Chromebook is kind of set up. It's is a laptop, but it's specifically suited for utilization of the G Suite of Google Chrome, and most many school districts utilize Google in its series of drives and in its other applications in the classroom. I think you guys are Google School, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most in the area are. So this it has less. You can't put a CD-ROM in it anymore per se. It's really focused on utilization of the cloud. So
I'm in the dark sometimes.
they're a little small
Getting
for my
better.
liking, but
I
a bigger
never heard the
person.
term Chromebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anyone at all wants to comment on this capital budget, fiscal 23 budget? it's good to be on it. It doesn't mean you're gonna make the goal line, but we're gonna do this in an orderly way and hopefully, as we get down the road, I every time, well, we keep our fingers crossed. We're gonna continue, but we're going to continue to do the best way we can. The culmination of what we're going through the opera money was going to take us 3 or 4 years. We've got some cautiously optimistic thoughts on some of these items that we'll be able to transfer it over, but we haven't done it yet, and B, we could come up with a very powerful list if we had all the money in the world, but this is our newest attack on keeping our capital needs in our mind, keeping them in front of us, and keeping us working on them. So it's here to stay, hopefully. And we may pay more attention to it than we have in the past, hopefully. But I'll take any comments at all. I want to thank the department heads for putting in their requests. Again, they know best what their priorities are. If you look at the lion's share of it, we're in the maintenance of building business. One way or another, a lot of 80% of this is probably attached to our physical plant, but we understand that, including the golf course. And there's a direct correlation to a number of years of not doing anything and having to pay the piper down the line. And this is an effort to spread it out and do it in an orderly way, based on our income and what we can afford. It's again, pretty straightforward, but we've got another bridge to go over on June 8th. If you want, we can keep the public hearing open till next week. If you want, we can also close it.
I think I was going to ask you that, Mr. Chairman. You read my mind. I thought we should keep it open to give the registry time, perhaps, to get some items in.
Okay.
I think.
It requires that on our meeting of the 6th, we close this public hearing, but we'll put it on the agenda. I'll carry it over, whatever you wish.
So Dick, that's your motion?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move that we keep the item, the fiscal 23 capital budget open and continue the hearing to next week, please.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to continue this public hearing on the fiscal 23 capital budget till next week. I believe it's June 2nd, or June 2nd meeting.
June 2nd, yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, be happy to continue and leave we're going to leave it open is what we're going to do.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, that's the last call for today on item number 3, which is the fiscal 23 capital budget proposal. Number 4, minutes of the open session meeting of May 18th, 2022 for approval.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 5, public comment.
Through Mr. Chair, just before that, it's June the 1st. The 31
next
days.
meeting.
So the public hearing for the capital budget will be June 1st, not June
Not the
2nd.
2nd, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh, the 31 days in May. Okay. June 1st, I'm sorry.
that's fine. Scrivener's ever.
Continue to June 1st.
Got it.
Number 5, public comment on at our regular meeting, which we're in. Any public comment at all? Okay, having none. Number 6, appointments, we have none. Number 7, old business, none. Number 8, personnel matters for consideration.
I can move, Peter, if you want.
Sure.
Yes, we have 2.
So we have 2 at Wollaston Recreational Facility. Oh, by the way, Mr. Chairman, aside, I grant permission to use my stamp if you
Thank you. I was going to ask you that.
need that. Yes, sir. But Wollaston Recreational Facility, notice of contingent employment for May K. Donovan of South Boston as seasonal pro shop employee at the rate stated, effective 5/26/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is
Second.
a vote.
Wollaston
Next.
Recreational, notice of contingent employment for Abraham J. Earl of Quincy, Mass, seasonal grounds crew employee, rate stated, effective 5/26/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Facilities, sir. Notice transfer of Tara DeFonso of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, from the Norfolk County Agricultural High School as executive assistant to the business manager. I'm sorry, as executive assistant to the business manager to the facilities maintenance department as assistant supervisor of operations, effective June 6, 2022, at the rate stated. So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Before we vote this, again, this is a promotion of a career employee who started working in the treasurer's office a number of years ago, went from the treasurer's office to the agricultural school, and performed admirably and had applied for a very important position as assistant director of operations in the facilities department to replace Sheila Carroll, who's retiring this summer. So this is a good tale. This is a success story. All in favor of the transfer of Tara DeFranzo from the high school to
Facilities.
facilities maintenance department? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So John Wallace has work cut out, right? He's gonna be looking for.
He's good. Now, Business Manager Wallace is gonna find an assistant. I noticed in the minutes of last night's meeting, or some paperwork I received. Are we out on the highways and byways and posting?
Yes, sir. We have some applications already.
And
We reached out to some.
in-house and out-house, hopefully?
I think there may be one or two internal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I've been
All right.
told.
There you go. There you go.
I know it's a key position, and I know, we're anxious to steal Tara over this side, so June 6th. We've been talking about the date back and forth, but it's all a success story, so
Right.
we'll make it a positive thing. Thank you. Number 9, payroll and expense warrants. Commissioner Collins.
Yeah,
You want me
Peter,
to read these, Dick, or do you have them?
I don't have him. Peter, take the lead on this one this week,
Okay.
please.
All right, this is the warrant list for 5/25/22. I make a motion for the warrant 22-47 payroll county in the amount of $138,683.56.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Next.
The second item on the warrant list is 5/4/22 expense county in the amount of $548,698.85. That's a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Okay, the third item is 22-11A, expense of the school, in the amount of $144,267.08. That's a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It is a vote. Thank you. Next.
Okay, the last warrant is 5/20/22, WRF sales tax in the amount of $2,132.84. That's a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. That completes our payroll and expense warrants for approval. I'm looking at the Zoom today, and I notice we have our advisory board meeting in Westwood Selectmen with us, Mike Walsh. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. Can you hear me?
He's on mute. Hi, Mike.
He's off. Hi, Mike.
There he is.
Oh, hi, Mike. Just saying hello. Thank you. It's good to see you. Number 10, opera warrants for approval.
There are none today, but we anticipate Franklin's very close to the goal line.
We'll have one in the future,
Yeah,
next
next
week.
week.
Okay, no opera warrants today. Number 11, 130 bid openings. We have none. Number 12, we have our monthly trial balance for approval. Our document is here for your perusal. Any comments, members? Where is it?
We do have First Assistant Treasurer Joe Diori on
All
the.
right, we have Joe DeOrio on with us. If there's any questions, I'm looking at a trial balance sheet dated 4/30/22. This document includes everything that we need, including we now carry our opera expenditures on here. So any questions? Anybody? Any questions, Commissioner?
No, it seems okay. What's the amount that we're moving? Is it 78 million? 878, 226,
That's the number, 225
225, all right.
and 17 cents.
I think we have to move something, or usually there's a motion
Yes.
to adopt, right? So I'll move for the trial balance as of April 30, 22, that we accept the figure of $78,878,225.17. So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to accept the trial balance dated 4/30/22 as submitted by the treasurer, $78,878,225.17. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Good.
Contract awards. We're going to have Director Rockwell come in and see us. We have one. It's for natural gas for the county of Norfolk for a period of 1 year. I'll have Nancy, we open the bids. I'll have Nancy explain it. We're ready to go.
Yeah, it's recommended. We used an energy broker, Patriot Energy, and they got pricing from several gas companies. Direct Energy was the lowest at 0.1125 per DTH, 1.125 per MMBTU. It's for a period of 1 year. Director Crowe and I had a discussion, and I feel strongly he agreed that the 1 year is good for right now. The prices
Okay,
are
is
hopefully
this-
they'll drop.
So we do this every year.
Sometimes we do two. We're doing 1 year this time because of the prices, and we're hoping that within the year, things will start to drop down. So when we go forward after this 1 year, hopefully things will be lower.
Okay, we always like it lower. Have we dealt with this purveyor before?
Yes, we have.
So they're reliable.
Yes.
And which of our, where do we use our natural gas? That's,
Natural gas, it's the school, the golf course, and all the court buildings and this building.
okay. Any questions about the awarding of the gas?
No.
I'll need a motion and we're ready to go.
Peter?
Have that?
Nancy, you repeated it. I already said it.
Okay. A motion to approve the bid of Direct Energy through Patriot Energy DBA Mantis Energy in the amount of 1.125 per MMBTU for a period of 1 year for the county of Norfolk commencing 6/1/22. That's a motion.
I second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. To award the 1 year contract for natural gas to Patriot Energy doing business as Mantis Energy in the amount of 1.125 MMBTU for a period of 1 year commencing June 1st, 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you. Will you keep your eye on that, Nancy?
Yes.
Okay, very similar to the oil, which is changing and changing. Number 14, report the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Director Buckley.
Through you, Mr. Chair, not much before we continue to have productive dialogues with the Norfolk County Managers Association and our subrecipients. Number of programs going close to the finish line. A lot of activity in the portal. Again, our county has distributed the most money by far of all the counties in this process. We have the most subrecipients. We're helping troubleshoot some communities as they try to figure out what they would like to do with their funds and how to actualize their individual goals. I did have a very small update from Treasury. Our contact in Senator Markey's office, Ben Thomas, did report back today that the delegation letter, which we supported as well, asking for greater latitude with which to dispense revenue replacement funds. They did receive a acknowledgement of receipt 2 weeks after it was sent yesterday. So the pace of the federal government's movement is slow, but those are our updates right now. And again, we're continuing to examine things in the portal, having one-on-one conversations with individual managers and finance teams. So John and I have been doing increasing site visits, going out places like Norfolk, other places as well, Quincy, taking a look at the projects, helping them get to where they need to go. And that is all I have for the American Rescue Plan Act.
Anyone have any questions at all about Opera American Rescue Plan? We're happy with its outcome. We've given away some money, $1 million, 11 million about.
Almost 11.
No, we're working with everyone again. It's a working process. Everyone's becoming more aware of the federal rules as we go on, and our team is doing a very good job overseeing this, and so far so good. So we're knocking on wood. but we're willing to work with everyone and see how we can best implement and put this money to work, so. Okay, that concludes opera for today. Number 15, report of the county director on our COVID-19 policy.
Through you, Mr. Chair, two things on that. One, we want to flag for our employees that the Blue Cross Blue Shield offers home COVID test reimbursement for their members. Information on these tests can be found at bluecrossma.org/myblue/at-home test coverage. So to obtain these test kits, Blue Cross Blue Shield members can visit any in-network pharmacy and show their Blue Cross Blue Shield ID card. So that's just an additional benefit. As you all three know, this commission just dispensed our second round of free tests to our employees. We will probably be doing that again soon. Obviously, the tests are, we hope they don't have cause to use them, but they are available to them should they need to. Secondly, but equally and more importantly, we are looking at our COVID-19 protocols. So we propose that the commission use for all county employees the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's updated COVID-19 protocols, which were updated as of March 30th, 2022. The county has a set of protocols from earlier in the pandemic, but by conforming ourselves to the CDC, which is the national standard, which Massachusetts guidelines are closely mirroring, people with COVID-19 and close contacts would be able to follow the recommendations outlined at the CDC's coronavirus and quarantine isolation information page, which we can put on the website. But I have it here, and it kind of goes over what to do if you were exposed and you are not up to date on your COVID vaccines. You should quarantine for 5 days, stay at home, and quarantine for 5 full days. After quarantine, watch for symptoms until 10 days afterwards, after the last close contact you had with someone with COVID-19, and take precautions until day 10 by wearing a well-fitting mask for 10 full days. And it goes on from there for those who are exposed, but do not test positive. It kind of goes down from there. We can put this on the website. The intention here is to really not be an outlier in the way in which we respond, whether it be close contacts, whether it be the amount and time of quarantining. So we want to make sure we're kind of in step with the other areas
So you're
around
gonna
us.
put that on the
So
website.
we'll put this on the website, but yeah, it's the CDC. We're not in it by any stretch of the imagination, reinventing the wheel here. So
No, that's
I
fine.
can answer any questions, but it's pretty standard.
Knock on wood, but are we still, when we get COVID calls from our courthouses or buildings, anything, are we still responding with the team that
They
Direct them down it.
continue to
we continue
to
to?
fog and
Okay.
respond in that way to the workstations.
So although it's slowed down, it isn't, we're still up to full mode should we get calls.
That's correct.
Okay. I want to remind everyone that mostly our employees, but we had a limited amount of kits that we made available for distribution. The old kits expire at the end of June.
Mhm.
So check your kits out, and we do have some new ones, a limited amount. And we'd be happy to work with everyone, and we're going to redistribute them, but we're getting close to the expiration date. So
All of the June kits through Mr. Chairman are out in employees' hands. The last batch we gave out expires in July. as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So,
So it's a July explanation. All right.
and obviously, depending on positivity rates, infection rates within the county and in the communities we have physical plants in, we will also look at this again later on this summer as well.
Okay. Any other questions about COVID policy? Okay. Number 16, report of the county director.
Couple of things, 3 maintenance issues. IBS is at the registry right now working on the boiler. We think it may take a week. We also have the elevator inspection crews over there today as well. On Monday, purchasing agent Rockwell, myself, John McGowan, and others met with the trial court to discuss a timeline for Stoughton. Obviously, we are in a position where we want to get this done, but we also want to work with our trial court partners to make sure that the carriage of justice continues. So we're working with the trial court, Rhonda Pisa and others, to get from the judge a schedule of days in areas where we can get in there. We don't want a situation which has happened in the past where a crew shows up and they're turned away by the judge because of a proceeding. So we're working diligently with the trial court to really push them to give us a schedule so we can in turn, so our vendor in turn can do the work in a timely fashion. So that's one. As well, this morning, we did have a meeting with Lawson on site with John McGowan, again, myself, First Assistant Clerk Hickey, who declined to go up the scaffolding with us after the meeting on the ground to talk about the dome. Dome looks awesome. It's really coming along. They're projecting a late July, August completion rate. We're obviously very cognizant of the fact that in September, there is a tentative plan for the naming of that courthouse after Congressman Delahunt. So we want that to be done by then. They are confident, barring a unforeseen, incredibly wet summer. They're chugging along up there. We also did discuss the possibility that after the dome itself, which is going to be golden, is finished. They're at this point they've done almost all of the stripping, and they're putting initial base coats down and doing spot touches for the full paint job. But as the top is completed, there will be an opportunity for perhaps members of the commission, members of the leadership of the Dedham Historical Society, and some of our other governmental partners to perhaps go up on a mutually agreed upon day and take a look at the work that's being done. So it might be a fun. It's only about a 4-story climb, but
All right.
if I can do it, anything can do it.
When do they say?
We're talking about once that top piece of the work is completed, we'll dial on with them and maybe find a day for. You reach out to Rep McMurtry as well.
Okay,
Like,
be happy to
stuff.
go.
It's a good time. So with that, we're also looking at Superior, the front railing as well, and finding strategies to get that replaced before the refurbished before the September date of the Delahunt dedication. So all that, those are the 3 maintenance issues. I regret to report, despite our dear friend and colleague Senator Rush's best efforts, our Registry of Deeds bill language did not make it into the Senate version of the budget as well. We did provide to them the financials about what would come back to the counties and what the revenue decrease would be for the state. We worked closely at the beginning of the week with the treasurer of Plymouth County and his staff to really get the snapshot projection in time, because obviously the bill is a deeds excise bill. And so as deeds transactions rise and fall, like the revenue from that would also rise and fall. But there seems to be continued interest in this matter from my discussions with legislators and their staff. There's a greater openness to this bill than, say, when I was up there a few years ago. I think we're really beginning traction. So with that, I think it is pertinent to have, and we've begun initial discussions to have another multi-county Mass Association of County Commissioners meeting. We have looked at, and I want to get the date right. Thursdays at the golf course. I believe Norfolk County was on the hook for hosting. Thursdays at the golf course are available, and they looked at June the 9th at noon time as a day that may work for folks. So I would just ask the commissioner to get back to me if that's okay with you. We can work with our partners as well.
We've got to bind that up because it's coming pretty quick.
It's coming pretty
I
quick,
think
but
it's a necessary meeting.
it's quite necessary because a very important drop dead date is July 1st, which is when the formal session ends, and they go just to informal sessions. And so all the brunt of legislative work really grinds to a halt in July until next January. But those 3 weeks in June will be exceedingly busy and there will be a tremendous amount going on at the State House. So there's a window, I think if we can refine our message, all get on the same page about how to reach out to our various legislative delegations. I think there's a window for collective action. And that June 9th meeting will be very important to formulate the game plan for that.
Are you looking at a daytime meeting, afternoon meeting? What are you looking at?
Yeah, we're thinking noontime at the golf course. At
Yeah.
the view.
I'm okay with that date if you need feedback now, but looking at my calendar.
I'm okay with the day. I'm okay with the location, but are we gonna get, I mean, of the counties, we're the farthest away from the Cape, we're the farthest away from the islands.
We talked about that in the sort of all county staff meetings. We believe me, I wanted to go to the Cape in the summertime. I really wanted to go to Dukes County, to be perfectly honest, but
There you go.
they were. See, I'm always thinking. The Cape folks had said to us that they just couldn't plan the meeting themselves, but their commission had the interest of, because of this importance of coming up here, and I figured Quincy would be good because you're just shooting up Route 3 if you're coming from. I mean, obviously not if you're coming from Provincetown, but
I think it's important to try to force this meeting. I mean, we went from 3, meetings, and I think it's necessary for a lot of
I'm
reasons.
fine with the meeting. I just don't know if you're gonna get the attendance where we want it to be. I don't know if we're gonna get the full attendance if we're in Quincy. I just don't see it. I just don't know.
yeah, and so that's
Hopefully, but I don't know.
and we'll reach out after not at the end of this meeting. I'll reach out to my counterparts
Yeah.
and to see that quickly. And if it's the case that they come back and say, hey, if it's in Plymouth, we can get there easier. That's fine.
Right.
I think the most important thing
Is to have it.
is to have it.
Right,
And
and we're all in agreement on that. I just want to make sure that they're gonna show. I mean, Plymouth, Bristol, that's closer to everybody else.
no, that's fair. So we'll work at that and really hopefully by the beginning of next week have this finalized.
Bill, but yeah, I agree with Peter. June 9th, my calendar is open. Wherever you decide to do it, just do it. Leave it like that.
I agree.
Whatever works. All right, that's great. That's great.
Okay, any other questions of the county director? Okay, we're on for next week, of course, a full meeting. And then we're a meeting the week after, of course, and then we have a meeting of the advisory board on June 8th.
That's correct.
Aforementioned capital budget program, which is still open until next meeting. Number 17, any other discussions that were not necessarily anticipated? I have none. Does anyone have anything? Okay, thank you. We're going to be here next week. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move, we adjourn at, is it 1:50?
150.
Yep.
Second.
Made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Take care, Mike.
Take care, guys. Be safe, everybody.
I got my microphone working now, so
Night, night.
Not too late.
take care.
Take care. Bye.